¿Qué tal amigos? Bienvenidos a un nuevo video en el canal. Estoy muy contento de estar nuevamente con todos ustedes. Ayer vimos cómo Kari Lake fue humillada totalmente en vivo y enfrente de todos al saber y descubrir que en Armenia la gente habla armenio, así como ustedes lo escuchan. Ese tipo de representantes están al cargo de varios cargos políticos muy importantes dentro de los Estados Unidos, dentro del gobierno que lidera Donald Trump. Y bueno, este es un video bomba porque Greg Stanton le dio con todo, le dice que es una mentirosa, una farsante, que está inventando cosas, que la verdad es que está diciendo un montón de basura a lo largo de los años, Kari Lake. Así que va a estar muy bueno este video, se lo recomiendo. Pónganse muy cómodos y atentos porque este video es totalmente picante y caliente como a todos les gusta. Así que, bueno, adelante con las imágenes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Ms. Lake, your actions as senior advisor are eroding American soft power around the globe. We should not be dismantling the agency that combats propaganda from the Chinese Communist Party, the Kremlin, and Tehran. Especially now, we need to be able to broadcast facts that counter Iranian state-run media spin that is essential to America's long-term interests. Your job is to tell the people of the world the truth about America. And because of that, there's a more fundamental issue I want to address today, and that is character. You see, Ms. Lake, we have both been public figures in Arizona for a long time. I've seen you in action, including your behavior in the last 2 elections. And let me be clear about something. The American people cannot believe a word you say. You ran for governor in Arizona in 2022. You lost fair and square. Instead of conceding, you embarrassed yourself and our state by lying again and again for years, blaming everything under the sun for your loss except for your own toxic politics. You lie about that election to this very day. You lied about signatures on mail-in ballots not matching those on file. Proven wrong. You lied about ballots being intentionally misprinted and then rejected in Republican areas. Total BS. You lied and said hundreds of thousands of ballots were mishandled. Zero evidence. You claimed fake ballots were snuck into batches before they were counted. Come on. You repeated these lies again and again, and you've said even recently, quote, I am the duly elected governor, they just stole it, unquote. Give me a break. Ms. Lake, your new role requires you to tell the truth. For decades, whenever authoritarians and dictators suppressed the people and claimed victory in fraudulent elections, Voice of America countered those lies. I can't imagine how people fighting for democracy today and around the world can trust someone who has so shamelessly lied about her own election.
Will the gentleman yield for
Ms.
the question?
Lake, no, I will not.
Okay,
Ms.
well,
Lake,
just so you
to
know,
regain a
VOA
semblance of
wanted
your
to not call
credibility, I will not
Hamas
yield.
terrorists, so
Ms. Lake,
if we're
to
gonna
regain a
berate the
semblance of
witness,
your
we may as well be
credibility.
factual about the
Are
evidence.
Yes.
This is the
I did not-
gentleman's
I did not-
time. If you did not yield, you
I
may
did not yield, and
continue.
I'd like the time back. Ms. Lake, to regain a semblance of your credibility, are you finally ready to admit you lost the 2022 Arizona election?
It saddens me that you are from Arizona and you're okay with
That's
the
a
way
yes or no question, Ms.
saddens
Lake.
me that you are from
I
Arizona.
guess the answer is no, reclaiming my time.
The gentleman
I-
will suspend, will stop the clock. For all present, members are reminded to avoid engaging in personality toward the president and other members. Okay, and this is a member of the administration, so I would caution all to stay on the subjects and stay off of personalities,
Would love to.
please. The gentleman may continue.
Yes, and in this case, these are adjudicated lies. Courts of law have determined that these are lies. These are not me saying it. You didn't
Wow,
just
and the
lie to
courts-
the
the
press.
courts are really
You
awesome
took
right
those
now.
lies to court and lost again and again. Every one of your lawsuits failed. And a federal judge said that you were furthering false narratives that blamelessly undermine public trust. And you didn't just lie, you were formally sanctioned by the court. Ms. Lake, you have been sanctioned twice for providing false information to courts. Isn't that true, yes or no?
I was brave enough to fight our shoddy elections, and the courts have not caught up.
That was a yes or no question. I guess the answer is no. Let me reclaim my time. You have been sanctioned by both the United States District Court and the Arizona Supreme Court for, quote, making false factual statements to the court. And you were sued for defamation by a Republican election official, Stephen Richer. He and his family were subjected to harassment and even death threats because of those lies. You told your supporters, Richer and fellow Republican County Supervisor Bill Gates, that they, quote, sabotaged Election Day. You accused them of deliberately printing the wrong image on ballots to jam tabulators and injecting hundreds of thousands of phony ballots. What a joke. And here's the thing, Ms. Lake. When it came down to it, you chickened out. You refused to defend those lies in court. You decided to take a default judgment. You are an adjudicated liar and a two-time political
Chairman, I'd like to
loser
take down
in
those
Arizona.
those
I have
words,
one
please.
final question.
Chairman,
Reclaiming my time.
I'd like
I
to
have one
take
final
down
question.
those
I'm not gonna yield.
It's the,
He's
it's
gotta
the
get his
gentleman's
fundraising
I do not
33
yield.
seconds.
I have one final question
Get your
for you,
call
Ms.
someone a
Lake. You have
liar.
a chance
That's
to
not
answer.
how
Let me
you
one
treat
final
other
question.
people that
The
are being
gentlelady
questioned.
will suspend, please. Go ahead, you may
You
continue.
lost for governor in 2022 to Katie Hobbs. You lost even worse to Ruben Gallego for Senate in 2024. Well, Arizona has another election for governor next year. Will you do us all a favor and run it back and run for governor again? I yield.
The gentlelady
No more questions.
Can I
respond.
respond
You may
to
respond.
some of that? Because that was complete insanity. I wish I could yield back the last 5 minutes of my life, actually. And I want to apologize to the people of Arizona that we have somebody who's representing the folks in one of our great parts of the Valley that doesn't care about the integrity of our election. So, but you weren't here. You came in late, and we're talking about USAGM today, the Agency for Global Media, and how they can put out absolute abject lies, and we can't control any. We have no say over what the editorial content is, and I would hope that you would not be okay with that. They could literally put out a lie about anybody here, and I know you've been the victim of that. I know you've been the victim. I remember the stories about you where they said you had a gay lover, and those were going out all
Mr.
over.
Chairman.
Can I
I
finish
hope
the
you
story?
honor what you just gave as a caution to everyone, and I moved those words.
To tell you that those kind of lies, and you said
rule
those
if
were
you want.
lies, those kind of lies could be broadcast today on VOA, and you couldn't pick up the phone, Representative Stanton, and call them and say, hey, you're putting out lies about me. You would not be able to do that because they would sue you for breaking the firewall. So lies are being told on Voice of America. It's inappropriate. You've been subjected to lies that you said were lies about you in the media before. And how would you like it if those lies were put on Voice of America right now? Because they could do it, and you couldn't do a thing about it. You couldn't stop it. You couldn't stop all those lies that you said were said about you if they went on Voice of America today. You'd have to sit and take it.
Okay, I thank the gentlelady, and I appreciate the dialogue. Ruling on the chair, on the member, she was responding, and I thought rather complimentary that in fact those were untrue, and she was defending that. So
That's what he says.
I'll leave it as that. I think Mr. Stanton would agree that those were untrue statements, and she said so. I will now recognize myself for 5 minutes.
Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman.
I apologize. I wasn't concerned at all what she was saying. My concern is that the leader of this agency, which is supposed to disseminate truth about the United States, is an adjudicated liar. That's not an exaggeration. That's not.
Okay, the gentleman made that point quite clearly.
Said that, and
Mr.
that's why I brought it
Chairman.
up.
Recognizing myself for
Mr.
5
Chairman,
minutes. the
unanimous
gentleman-
consent. Twice so far, the chair, prior to you, had said there was no documentation for requests of
Does the
meetings. So
gentleman
I'd like
want to submit
unanimous
something?
consent that these be placed in the record. These are requests for meetings that have not been answered. Thank you, Mr.
Could I
Chairman.
see the date on those? I mean, were those...
Okay, we'll be able to make
Okay.
the record complete, and you'll be allowed to give the other half of these emails. For the record, we agree, for unanimous consent, that these emails be entered and considered factual with the recognition that they be verified.
Tremendo, señores, tremendo video que acabamos de ver cómo Greg Stanton explota en contra y totalmente de Kari Lake. La verdad es de que le dijo muchísimas cosas, le dijo que pues era una mentirosa, que parara de decir todo este tipo de de mentiras que sabemos muy bien, y de hecho se los dije en el video anterior. Si no lo han visto, véanlo, porque le dicen un montón de cosas también. Como la señora Kari Lake, fiel representante de Donald Trump, pues ha perdido 2 veces la contienda por la gobernatura del estado de Arizona. Pero cuando yo les he comentado de que a mí me ha gustado que gente esté preparada para estar incurriendo en la política, a mí me gusta que esa gente esté en lo más top, en lo élite, en lo más preparado posible, porque están cargando con muchas, puede que suene exagerado, pero en cualquier rubro puede impactar en nuestras vidas, pero estas personas están cargando con muchas vidas, con las vidas de los ciudadanos, con los ciudadanos que están siempre trabajando, con los contribuyentes de impuestos, que esas mismas personas, de ahí salen sus sueldos, que muchas veces también les he comentado que no son sueldos bajos, no son sueldos medios, son sueldos altos, y son sueldos anuales de cientos de miles de dólares, que la verdad es de que a muchos de los contribuyentes no les sale nada barato tener a estas personas dentro de la política de los Estados Unidos. Pero hablando de la gente que está dentro de la política, hay que estar haciendo una depuración. Ahorita el tema y el ejemplo es la política de Estados Unidos, pero yo hablo en este mensaje, hago una metáfora, un ejemplo, una ejemplificación a nivel general de cualquier país. O sea, yo quiero que este tipo de personajes, como Kari Lake, se puedan estar erradicando lo más rápido posible, porque hay un dicho tan simple pero eficiente. O sea, zapatero a tus zapatos. Esta mujer se ha dedicado a estar en programas de televisión, al igual que Pete Hegseth, igual que Christine Owen, que no tenían nada que ver con la política, pero en el momento que estas personas se declararon, pues simpatizantes de Donald Trump, pues obviamente les dieron un lugar para poder estar contendiendo, perdonen, dentro de la política, y lo han conseguido. Lamentablemente, esos discursos de odio que ha estado promoviendo por muchos años Donald Trump, en esa campaña interminable que ha estado teniendo el presidente actual de los Estados Unidos, que lamentablemente le han dado resultado 2 veces. Y Donald Trump quiere ser presidente por una tercera vez, cuando aún es esto inconstitucional dentro de los Estados Unidos, pero él quiere hacer, e incluso él ha avisado que lo va a hacer. Así que ese tipo de gente, la verdad es que se tiene que erradicar por el bien común, independientemente de sus orientaciones políticas. A lo mejor pueden estar en contra de mí, y está bien, y es normal. Pueden estar de acuerdo conmigo, y muy bien, se les agradece el que compartan la misma opinión, pero creo que todos estamos de acuerdo de que nos queremos ver representados políticamente con alguien que esté preparado, con alguien que tenga tablas, con alguien que tenga bases para poder estar dentro de la política. Y es algo que de verdad, seamos muy sinceros, es algo que se pide siempre de algún político, y este tipo de personas, como estamos viendo en pantalla, lo vimos el video anterior, no saben ni lo más básico en cultura general, pero tampoco no se comportan bien. O sea, no se comportan bien en el aspecto de que no saben competir, no saben aceptar las derrotas, ganan y son malos ganadores, pierden, son peores perdedores. O sea, no, nunca, esa gente nunca está equivocada, esa gente siempre quiere estar, si no gana, arrebata. Lo vimos muy bien, como decía Greg Stanton, que Kari Lake estaba totalmente fuera de sí. Estamos hablando de hace unos años, donde ella decía que le robaron la elección, y diciendo un sinfín de incoherencias que no venían al caso. Pero bueno, señores, hasta aquí el video. Ya vimos cómo Kari Lake, la verdad es de que se desmorona muy fácilmente, muy bien por el representante Greg Stanton. ¿Qué opinan? ¿Qué opinan? Me encantaría saber todas sus opiniones. Suscríbanse, es totalmente gratuito, es totalmente gratis, es solamente para que ustedes no se pierdan los videos en el canal que publicamos aquí todos los días. Así que, bueno, nos vemos en la siguiente. Cuidado porque viene el último video de Pam Bondi, está sumamente picante. Les mando un abrazo y nos vemos en la siguiente. Bye bye.